So hopefully, this will work out for them.
Yeah, it does seem like there was a problem with the stream. It might have went down, and it wasn't informing that on my streaming software. But I'm gonna keep tabs on that and make sure that we get back online now that the draft is complete. Since I believe we were offline for that, I'll just go through the draft real quick. Here, it was a last pick. Timbersaw for the side of Wings. They fourth picked their Vengeful Spirit. And, of course, CDEC.Y is going to be running on the Silencer, and the fourth pick was the Alchemist for Old Chicken. So, overall, some pretty interesting final picks to get the rosters all together here. Like you said, the Timbersaw has some good strength against the Alchemist, but 5-on-5, overall, who do you favor when Ultimates are online for everybody?
30 seconds to battle.
Okay, I would favor Wings Gaming. It's really situational. Like, if Wings Gaming can drag things out after the Global Silence comes out, then they definitely can win the fight, because the Timbersaw is just going to wreck everybody. But if EHOME can get everything on point and synchronize very well with the Global Silence, they definitely win the team fights there within that short window of, how long is it? 4 seconds at level 1 of Global Silence.
So obviously high prioritization for Alchemist. Bounty Rune Old Chicken's going to pick that up with the Grievel's Greed here, and suddenly he's got Boots. So Stout Shield, Quelling Blade, 2 Pooled Tangos, and Boots of Speed instead of the Bottle. In fact, he's going back and getting himself a Healing Salve as well. So expects some major harassment here, just wants to be able to move to and fro, but he's going to have less mana to work with here in terms of Acid Spray spam.
Well, he is an Alchemist, so he should be fine. And at the same time, okay, yeah, this is gonna be dual lane mid. I mean, yeah, the Chinese teams really favor this nowadays. No one really thinks about like aggressive tri lanes anymore. It's mostly just down to dual aggressive mid lanes.
11 going to be doing some Ice Shard blocking here, just 2 melee creeps, put pretty much halfway in between the first wave and the second, and as long as he makes sure that they Radiant creeps stay out of tower range, he's got himself the perfect equilibrium to get full experience here, and in fact, he might be able to contest last hits a little bit. The Whirling Death obviously good against Strength Heroes, so Old 11 does have to watch his health pool as it gets cut in apart, but all the same, he's going to be looking for last hits, and he should be able to get at least something out of this lane. In the meantime, though, Innocence does get that double pull off, and that's going to deny a lot of experience.
In this Tuskar versus the Timbersaw, this is actually a hard carry Timbersaw. I thought it was going to be like a Venge hard carry, but apparently not. He's actually going to be brought real low. He doesn't have the mana for the shards, otherwise he probably would have gotten the kill there. Because he doesn't realize that Wings doesn't have Timber Chain.
Yeah, it's very... If he can go in hard like that, that'll be great, but the fact is he's waiting for his level 2 for like the full burst combo, so I think Timbersaw is okay with letting himself getting a little bit low, and now he'll be able to regen up. He still has reactive armor and 2 tangos, as well as that passive mango regen, so he's kind of baited 11 forward, and this could be our first blood. It would be huge if they get it, but we do see Old 11 just keeping it enough distance, and now Lanham finds Innocence 1v1. It's Bane versus Avenge. One has significantly more potential in this situation. It's going to be the Bane who gets the advantage in terms of just trading hits, and now he's going to set up Old 11 for the Mango Snowball forward. That's going to be the first blood going to Lanham as he finally uses that Brain Sap. Along with that, he dropped a Sentry Ward, which will be blocking off the pull, and this just gives Old 11 pretty much a free offlane now. With no pull to contest, with one assist, he's suddenly jumping forward in his potential. And we're even seeing harder pressure coming in from Lanham, just making sure Old Chicken gets his runes. So this is kind of what you can do with a dual lane, is turn it into a quick from rotation from mid to bottom, and essentially have a dual lane in both lanes in terms of threatening presence.
This is really, really good from Lanham, and he actually almost got the full duration of the damage from the Nightmare, so that was good enough. Really good timing into an Old 11, traps Ice. Oh, he doesn't have his Arctic Burn, but he's just going to back off since it's a danger.
Yep, so we're going to see the Sentry Ward come out. It will clean up the Sentry Ward and unlock the pull here for the 4-minute spawn, but already taking away one spawn and making it much less likely that they'll be able to de-ward the Albs that Lanham recently placed down. And so Lanham has just committed to a full dual lane here with the Tusk. They say, okay, well, we gave Alchemist his start. He's got his 2-1-1 going on, his Bottle online. As long as we make sure he can get runes, now we want to get involved on bottom. But Ice coming in with the Arctic Burn can do a lot of damage to these relatively tanky cores, but he's going to have to use it just to get some distance over the Ice Shards and, of course, deliver that long-range poke. So, all in all, I still feel like the fact that 11 and Lenham have such a stake in this lane is an advantage to them. And of course, this is up against a Timbersaw, not one of the greediest cores, so it's not like you're getting a bunch out of it as time goes by.
And then Spirit Breaker, he's actually really under-leveled. Oh, nice glimpse. He actually may be able to kill Kaka here. He needs one more hit. Yep, he will kill him off. So Spirit Breaker gets a nice kill. That's a bit of comeback gold for him. He is still behind in terms of levels compared to Old 11, who is already level 4. Spirit Breaker is still level 2. Not even okay. He's getting close to level 3. Oh, Chicken going for the treads for a bit of tankability. Hopefully, it's not a Radiance game. Actually, then again, a Radiance isn't that bad.
Ooh, snowball play here from 11. He's in some trouble, though. It's going to be Timbersaw to close in on him. You've entered the forest, my friend, and that means that you're in some real trouble. We'll see the charge come out at a pretty long range. Actually going to be charging right through the mid lane. Not going to be stunned up. Alchemist actually gets a haste ring, uses the stun, and the acid spray. He'll be able to kill off Beyond, and 11 will be fine now that the charge has been cancelled. In fact, Lanham coming in, looking at Timbersaw, and now he has no trees to chain to. He has one here that he needs to get a little bit more range, and looks like they won't go for the Ice Shard. Actually, they didn't have the mana for the Ice Shard play to try to lock him in. Still, though, that haste pop, great map sense from Old Chicken, responding to that situation very well.
Yeah, that was really, really good timing. I was afraid for him, actually. But, I mean, when I saw that he had 2 points in the concoction, I was like, okay, wait, he can do this. He can get a kill. So, good timing. But he has to be careful, though. I mean, he doesn't have any more bottle charges, and Shadow can actually kill him off. He just needs a good shackle.
Absolutely, level 6 is the critical time here. I think Old Chicken will just play it back a little bit until he gets the most experience as he can. But with those 2 denies coming in for the win range, you're denying the melee and the ranged, that actually prevents his level 6 for a little while. So that's huge, actually. Denying the range creep denies more experience than the melee, so it's not just 2 denies, it's denying the exact creeps she needed to prevent that level 6 as long as possible. I'm sure she didn't know that, but that's how it works out, and that makes the Alchemist a little bit weaker. That's just the fact that he can't be involved on the map right now because he's not popped his Chemical Rage.
Oh, he gets an Invis so I mean that's still good. Probably looking to set up a gank. Lanham's ready here. He's gonna get a full duration here. As the Spirit as well. Ice is just dead. He has to be careful though.
And Spirit Breaker's always up top. That's the problem right now, is Beyond has been really sitting up top constantly, and so every charge he makes down bottom is always so late when the overextension is already done. They'll get the magic missile, the charge isn't even necessary to get the kill, and they're going to global it on the side of the Dire. Old Chicken now in a pretty heavy position, but looks like they'll just walk away. Kaka TP down, and that's really all they needed to do. The global kind of wasted, but as long as Kaka's there, they really don't want to go aggressive here. Shackle won't connect either. Oh, nice snowball, dodging out the magic missile, turning around with the kinetic field. We're going to see the charge go across. Old 11 dies to the splinter. And that's going to be Wyvern in the most extended position. But I don't think they really want to go on him at full HP. And he's actually going to do another good shot with that Splinter Blast. So, all in all, just not a position that EHOME can really contest. With the Disruptor only level 4, and with the Alchemist without mana.
Well played, and suddenly, I mean, it's a party at the bottom lane, but it looks like only CDEC.Y, he's maximizing the farm he's getting. He has a Midas already, so he's actually going to overtake the Wind Ranger in a while to come. He hasn't exactly, been participating in fights just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's good and bad. Obviously, it means he's been free farming, he's going to build up his core set of items really quickly, but the disadvantage is that you're not going to be able to build up your intelligence stacks because you're not being involved in those fights. Now we see Shadow going to be getting hit by the Concoction, Acid Spray, and Kinetic Field actually doesn't come out in time for Kaka, so now they're on the defensive. Old Chicken trying to tread swap to get that Chemical Rage out, but looks like it won't work out that way. Are they actually going to go? No, there's going to be a glimpse, which means Old Chicken is unassailable under his tower, and is actually just going to get the illusion rune down bottom. So yeah, overall, like I said, Silencer, good and bad that he's not involved. He is going to be the most farmed here on the map, but of course he wants to get the Stolen Intelligence rolling pretty soon.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright, so it's gonna be a while more, but I think CDEC.Y, you probably go for like Gerard of Atos, just so they can get more kill potential. Especially since, you got heroes like the Timbersaw and all that. Oh, actually, Yield Subs wouldn't be that bad this game. But it's only a temporary solution to fighting heroes like the Timbersaw, who is getting closer to a Bloodstone. I think it should be a Soaring on the way. And Okay, I mean, we should be seeing like a couple of ganks coming out soon. Oh, the 11 is really low.
Yeah, doesn't get the opportunity to go for the second ultimate though, and that just will kind of force him back to base here very shortly. They do have a healing salve actually, so Kaka will keep 11 on the lane, and then being their solos can be pretty aggressive, in mid in particular, but up top, we're actually going to be seeing the smoke play come through. So 3v1 onto CDEC.Y. Global Silence or not, he's in some real trouble here. The shock shot doesn't come out though, and they can't follow up the charge. Now Old 11 here with the TP, the last word, Beyond will be going down. Looks like CDEC.Y doesn't even need to leave his lane to get that bonus intelligence, and that's just a good rotation, and of course the global coming out at just the right time.
Yeah, that was really clutch at the same time. Like, even half a second off, you would have died. And yes, it will be the medallion coming out for Old Chicken, so he's going for that Solar Crest build, which we're starting to see a lot more instead of the Radiance, which is definitely a much better alternative here. Since I mean, Alchemist, yeah, he's got plenty of damage output, but he's also really squishy. So if you get the medallion, you get like all these stuns coming out, and at the same time, last word and the waves. This Timbersaw is just gonna melt very, very easily, and his intelligence is just gonna fall.
Yeah. A lot of people have been looking to that Team OG build where they get the Alchemist ready to fight more so than anything else. Nice Ice Shards actually cuts out Shadow here, and despite his best efforts, he's going to be going down. Instance as well. That's going to be a 2 for none, and Beyond actually goes through with a charge for some reason here. I don't think they can punish it, but even still, we're going to be seeing the Timbersaw go too far forward, thinking there's a fight opportunity, and instead he's going to be stunned up and should be going down very shortly. There's going to be another charge through, but the Timbersaw still will fall, and now Beyond's going to be feeding himself, not even to Ancients, as he goes far from them. So Beyond, cold embraced as he may be, will still be falling, and CDEC.Y actually didn't get intelligence for that, surprisingly. 925 range is smaller than you'd think, I guess.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Just right outside the maximum range. And actually, someone's going to TP in. This could be a bad idea, actually, if they decide to go for it. Maybe not. No.
So, right now, KDA 3-1-3 on Lanham. This is going to be a pretty farmed Bane. In this position, do you just look for a Blink Dagger after, obviously, he's completed the Urn Magic Wand?
Yeah, Blink Dagger much better for positioning, especially against, like, if you're going to kite heroes like the Wind Ranger, you're going to catch them as well. And for the Spirit Breaker, it definitely helps.
One thing I really like about the Silencer here is that it makes it possible for the Bane to get a free Fiend's Grip off. Like, normally you'd look at this lineup and just say, okay, well, one of the ultimates, or even one of the basic stuns, is going to be canceling this Fiend's Grip. But if you put a Global Silence on top, that's as good as a Omni Knight repelling him, even better. They just can't cast a single spell unless they have a BKB. So that's going to be making it so that not only is 5 members of Wings silenced, but one of them is completely locked down by the Fiends.
Definitely, and I mean, of course, we saw how he really screws up the momentum of the fights, and Wind Ranger is very dependent on that momentum. It's not like she can do anything else once she's silenced up. Heractic isn't exactly that strong because she's so dependent on getting that shackle off. And I think we should be seeing a smoke pretty soon. Wings, they have to realize that EHOME is pulling away way too far.
So we're going to be seeing a jump onto Ice down for the count, and they'll just have to disengage from there. The fight's over before it's begun, and the global was used with that, but even still, like, they're finding their kills, they're finding their tier 1 tower bottom. Wind Ranger will try to answer back with some damage on mid, but that thing's still near full HP.
Okay, let's see, item progression. Yeah, I think CDEC.Y, he's just pulling further and further away ahead, and Wings, they just don't have any items to fight right now, even though they're trying to force this. Oh, wasted shackle.
And the kinetic static is going to do some damage here. It's going to go into Shadow. Oh, it doesn't even get the Wind Run off. Just gets crushed. So yeah, they get the Disruptor, but they've already lost the Venge and the Wind Ranger. And now the Lanham Grip, but they will counteract it with the Winter's Curse. And Lanham's going to be taking a lot of damage. Will be going down. Old 11 here, trying to just get one Walrus Punch. It's going to be on Timbersaw. They have to choose a target wisely. Beyond's getting some distance here, still with 500 HP, and Timbersaw chains away. So actually the easiest target is going to be Ice, who barely slips outside the shards. Old 11 now, maybe too ambitious, has to snowball this one for sure, and he's going to turn it onto Beyond, but that's still not going to guarantee that he gets out. Oh, Timbersaw gets blocked by the tree, but will get some damage and some slow out of his Chakram. CDEC.Y coming in, big last word to kill off the Wyvern, and you don't want to fight against the Alchemist now that he's back into So they're going to have to leave it at that. Old 11 limping away with 50 HP. Maybe that bonus armor from Buckler being enough to save him there, but either way, it is going to be another unfortunate exchange where Wings just can't really seem to get enough traction in the fights. They're using a lot of abilities defensively, despite them being the initiators
Radiant's
originally.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and the intelligence stacks are really coming up. CDEC.Y already +6 intelligence, and I mean, especially with this Midas, it's really good not only just for the catch-up farm, but because of the extra EXP he gets. So he's going to be leveling up, and this intelligence, his glaives, he's going to hurt even more like a truck soon. And I'm very, very afraid for Wings right now and how they're going to come back. Because the Timbersaw, as good as it is, a pick against this Alchemist, he's just so underfarmed. He just does, he's just unable to do anything once the Global Silence comes out.
Yeah, and I don't think this is really a BKB game for him. Maybe a Yule's, but that's still not going to be a perfect answer. It will take up one of the two silences Silencer throws his way, but then you might still be in a Static Storm by the time the Yule's ends. So, beyond canceling charge.
Swap.
And they really want to jump this, but it probably would just be the exact same thing we saw before, where they just get caught inside the kinetic static. One hero goes down quick, and then last time it was the Wind Ranger. And from there, Wings are completely in the defensive. I feel like they have to very carefully choose their target, and it's going to be the Alchemist. Oh, he's
gonna,
never mind.
he might actually break the smoke on Wings, but no, Wings smoke has already expired, so it doesn't really matter. The charge is coming out, the swap comes in into the Winter's Curse of CDEC.Y. He's just gonna be destroyed by the Timbersaw, but Old Chicken's gonna come in, get concoction on Shadow, I'm not even gonna say the name, and there you go, the Color Bear is gonna keep him alive, but the Phoenix is gonna hold him in place. This is Faith, he's probably gonna die, but no, he's still alive. He's going back into the charge and land him again, and yeah, Old 11. Just really, really low. Wings gonna kill himself. Another kill. Nice job, Timbersaw. And Alchemist gets himself Faith at the sidelines. Oh, looks like he stunned himself at Old Chicken. Shadow can't really find the kill, man. That extra name after the Shadow part really rocketed. And actually, oh my god, Shadow, he's back in. Can Old Chicken get the stun?
Oh, nice
no,
Golden Embrace. That's a good response. Old Chicken now doesn't have an ultimate, so despite the Nightmare, he's gonna be dropping very, very low here. The Splitter Blaster will be enough!
Wow.
Oh, the long-range snipe. Oh, man, that is some marksmanship right there. But that is going to be EHOME losing out on some big heroes here. I've really got to say, although Wings, a couple of their spells were not exactly on target, their strategy in that fight was sound. Going for the Silencer before he can get Global off, that's how you win a fight. So making the jump there, committing every spell they need to bring down Nordstrom before he pops that ulti is huge. And luckily, Lanham didn't get the Nightmare off. He was so damn close. The Nightmare range was not even 100 off. And if he got the Nightmare, turned Silencer invulnerable, and then broke it for the Global, that would have been huge. And Wings wouldn't have even gotten... Well, they would have gotten the one kill on CDEC.Y, and then they would have all been wiped out from that point forward. But as it stood, EHOME do lose two very important heroes, the top net worth Alchemist and Silencer. And that means that Wings still have a foothold here in game number 1.
This just blows things right open. I mean, it's still so even, and I think EHOME, they want to try to get one more pick off. They have all these aggressive wards in the jungle. They know that Ice is around, but it looks like they may go into Spirit Breaker instead.
Yeah, I'm already charging up the concoction. They get the snowball. Oh, Old Chicken stuns himself. He doesn't get the ultimate off. He's going to be in some trouble. They'll have to pop the ultimate just to cover this. They've blown both of their silences, and they still are in full retreat. The Winter's Curse, Alchemist, is going to be a perfect target to focus down. Loses so much health to the Timbersaw. And down he goes. Kaka needs to just drop a kinetic and run, but no. Old 11, he gets swapped back and killed off. And that's going to be 2 kills, setting up a tier 1 tower push.
Can you smell the throws? Can you smell the throws? That was just so unfortunate. Alchemist, I mean, the idea was there, but he needed to come in a bit sooner.
And just great response from Wings. Really solid. And I mean, honestly, I don't even think you go for the concoction at that range. Like, you just let your allies set it up. Maybe the glimpse should have come out earlier, but I don't think the Spirit Breaker even stepped that far forward. Like, I think the glimpse would have sent him from, like, here to over here. It really wouldn't have been that far. So, despite having the right idea, yeah, I don't feel like that was just the way to use the stun, and obviously they had to commit a lot more just to get that kill, which in turn cost them way too heavily. And in fact, the Spirit Breaker didn't even die, did he? So, yeah, Beyond's feeling pretty happy about how that all went down. And you can see it across the board. They're getting so much more farm. The Timbersaw actually can be getting his Bloodstone pretty soon. Force Staff is actually complete now for Wyvern. That's a huge pickup this game. And then, of course, the Ranger building up the Ags, now complete.
Yep. So I mean, at the same time, there was just a huge mess of a team fight. So much miscommunication going on between EHOME and that final fight. I mean, if they were really that afraid of the Spirit Breaker, like, you know, charging out, they could have saved the silence for that. And the stun, I think they're just panicking bit by bit. Old Chicken probably needs a bit more practice with the stuns. So, but okay, he's making his way to Sanj, so he's gonna be much tankier. And like we saw, Roshan's gonna happen.
This is
Just
a great
double
play
damage.
here. Such a smart smoke. Going in, double damage on a Wind Ranger, popping the Focus Fire with Axe, and of course the Venge is there. Not to Wave of Terror, but just to tank it up and provide that Vengeance aura. So this is something you just can't expect, but they're going to be left flabbergasted as soon as that Roshan goes down. However, Wings are looking to probably go right back to the home base as soon as that's done, and that's going to put them in a vulnerable position where now Innocence has to swap out the Wind Ranger to the high ground. She still gets stunned up, now Nightmared, and Innocence is going to be going down for sure. No! Force Step from Ice Ice, freshly picked up. They'll glimpse them back, though, back into the Acid Spray, into the Kinetic Field. The Fiend's Grip on Shadow. They need a global soon. Oh, the Winter's Curse comes out first, and now they're going to be losing some heroes quickly. Alchemist first, and they only pop the Aegis from Wind Ranger, as well as taking the Venge. Kaka will pick up that Vengeful Spirit, but all the same, the Tusk just can't do enough by himself, all alone on the front line. Lanham's going to get hit by 2 bashes in a row, and that is going to be Kaka going down shortly as well. Timbersaw, Ice Ice, and Shadow cleaning up everything as they land the final shackle to make it a 5-man wipe. It all came down to that Winter's Curse, a 5-man Winter's Curse coming out from Ice Ice, and the global a moment too late.
I was actually pretty concerned that the Alchemist was going to deny himself because of the concoction, but looks like it brought him near close to like 26 HP before he died. So that was, like you said, it was a really beautiful Winter's Curse. So a 5-for-3 trade, and they will find themselves to T1.
No, that
well
was
played from Wings.
That was an Ice Ice fight all the way. He forced-staffed that Venge, which forced the Glimpse, and really just messed up their target priority for enough time that they could then just force them all to clump up in the river. They wouldn't have been all clumped up in the river if the Venge had just died right off the bat. But were waiting, kind of like sharks, waiting for prey to come back, swim back towards them. And once that glimpse finished, they were in the perfect position to get that beautiful, beautiful Winter's Curse. So Ice Slice all around like that. He just outplayed all 5 members of EHOME himself.
Yeah, that was just crazy, but oh well. I mean, in the same time, it was a horrible place to fight, and the shots totally backfired against them. Like, I mean, usually you want to fight to like block out somebody, but in this case, thanks to those 4 staffs, man, that was just a really bad place to fight for EHOME. Probably waiting on the high ground would have been favorable to them, like more favorable to them.
Yeah, but they saw an opportunity. It was almost a really clean fight for them. They were just confident, more confident than what CDEC.Y had to offer, and actually CDEC.Y now in some trouble here. He'll put some hits into Ice Ice, Atoses him. Cold Embrace versus pure damage. What's going to win out? It's going to be Ice Ice surviving and CDEC.Y going down once again. Just a great pickup. And they're even going to contest bottom, where Old Chicken will now be knocked back a couple of times over. And a Glimpse going to be taking one here out of the equation. But even still, EHOME, I'm not sure, can they do this? Yeah, with the Fiend's Grip, they certainly can. Beyond has no stuns left. He's going to have to abandon Shadow to his doom. Beyond now actually gets caught by the Ice Shards. Shadow Blade away with no detection to find him. So in the end, the Tier 1 still falls, and they do lose a couple heroes down bottom. Probably just needed to let that go. It's really ambitious to try to go for the gank of your life and then turn that into a tower defense. It's just so strung out.
I think he's thinking about going back in. You can see Flying Daggers, the Timbersaw. He has Invis Rune, probably looking for CDEC.Y, come back to the top lane. He's definitely probably going to be hitting there.
Yeah, and I couldn't actually see who got glimpsed back. I think it was the Venge, and if that's the case, he went ahead and in the meantime, since it's like, oh, I'm in the enemy jungle anyways, I'll just go ahead and drop down a couple Observer Wards. And now that he's got great lane ward on top, as well as in the central jungle of the Dire, and they have more kill opportunities on this Silencer, since he's always going to be Midasing. Kaka pretty much dead to rights, the Shadow Blade, and of course that Invis Rune making the dual gank happen.
15 Bloodstone charges, Timbersaw is getting out of control. So next item could be the Axe, could be a Blink. I mean,
no, it's gotta be Yules, right? Like, there's no way you can go anything but Yules this game, I think.
I mean, even BKB, it's really not a bad item on the Timbersaw at all, because that just means like Disruptor ult, you know, he can just walk through it, stun on the Alchemist. He's got to hit other targets instead. So Timbersaw can actually just run through the entire EHOME team, even the Silencer.
Yeah, it is good against a Disruptor. I feel like Yules counters everything else the same, But the Disruptor in particular still has those persistent abilities the Yules can't really do anything about.
Radiant's middle tower
Definitely could
is
be a
under
BKB,
attack.
but he's got to get one of those before he even considers the alternatives, like the Shiva, the Hex, the Axe, which is really just a late game item. Timbersaw right now, 1700 banked up though. He's a pretty juicy target if they can find him, but the Observer Ward doesn't scout him out in time. Just barely gets outside the ring, and he will just TP back to safety. Silver Edge, any good this game? Not really.
Silver's Edge?
Yeah.
No, I think it's definitely the BKB, or even a Lincoln's with a Mideba and CDEC.Y because the Shackle, or even a BKB on him would be good, which I think that should be the item since he has the Ogre Club. We see a 3-man smoke coming out from Wings, baiting out the bottom lane. I mean, it is very pushed in, but EHOME should be
Dire's
perfectly
bottom
aware of
tower
this.
is under attack.
Yeah. Not sure why you go for a courier play with the smoke, but I guess they've been waiting a little while. The smoke's been active for some time, and they just haven't found their opportunity, so they go ahead, deliver their items. BKB up for Wind Ranger, and obviously it's essential here. Now, with Aghanim Scepter and BKB, she should be able to take 5-man fights really, really effectively. She shouldn't be killed off early in the fight anymore, and unless she gets Fiends without any support, she should be able to put out, I would say, top damage from at least the Radiant side, if not both.
Yeah, it looks like EHOME, they tried to go for that, try to bait CDEC.Y, it just didn't work out. So both these teams sort of reading each other. Now the lane's decently pushed out, I suppose. CDEC.Y can go back and farm that up, and from this they can pretty much guess where Wings are right now. Especially thanks to this ward in the enemy jungle, it really spots them out. So if they want, they can actually try to fight the mid.
Maybe. It seems a little beyond their range, but I mean, they do get some hits on Old Chicken. Bring him down, but he'll be Chemical Raging right back up. It's actually going to be towards this bottom lane, which might have the most interesting potential, but Blink Dagger's up for the Timbersaw, so it's actually going to be Innocence. That looks to be just a free pick-off. If they go to fight in this choke point, EHOME are just going to destroy them, but Alchemist doesn't get hit by a shackle to a tree, and the global comes out. Innocence goes down, and Shadow popping his BKB and the Witcher's Curse against him too, just to bring the Alchemist down. Now a charge forward beyond, doing some good damage. Shackle hits onto two, land him in CDEC.Y. Now in some real trouble. Great Splinter Blast, and if, despite defensive Nightmare, it looks like he's going down. Earn, force, everything to get out, but he still will fall. A 2-for-1 in the end, all coming down to just some great Shackle Shot focus fire. Oh, snowball back the other way. Old 11 still caught in this one, and
that was so weird. That looked like a toss. The Force Staff and
the Force Staff. I was like, how did that actually happen? But I was like, I actually literally immediately checked the Tusk for an Aghanim Scepter. I'm like, he didn't kick him, but no, it was the Walrus Punch plus Force. But Shadow's still
gonna die here.
Huge pickup.
No.
Yeah, 11 keeps him in play, and they even buy back just to make sure they can get that kill. Beyond here, just TPing. He'll be fine, and Timbersaw pushes out top, but just overall, these fights are really heavy. Like, both sides just exchanging so much blow for blow.
Nice. He was good for the bounty. No, you don't want to be there. Oh,
man.
disaster. Oh, wait it. He forced that up.
No deny, though.
Shards.
And they'll check Roshan, but of course it is just about to breach the minimum spawn timer. So, yeah, 2 minutes from now, Rush will spawn, and that's not going to be something they can take advantage of. Still, though, lots of kills. Makes Silencer happy. 12 int stacks for him as he's 4, 3, and 4. And he just picked up a 10-second BKB on top of his Midas, on top of his Atos. Really, the biggest thing they have to worry about now is the Wind Ranger focus fire. She BKB focus fires, and the only real answer they have is the Fiend's Grip. You can hit him with the Walrus Punch. You can Soul Request the target she's focusing, but overall, those are not as strong of mitigating factors than the Wind Ranger herself.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally tell me back then, back to the skirmish from previously, you could tell that Lennon was really reluctant to use the Fiend's Grip, because that's why he waited for the Nightmare duration to completely max out before actually using it, because he figured, hey, it's a kill. So now he's actually sleeping for that long, it means that there's no backup. And as long as CDEC.Y doesn't die, as long as the intelligence stacks continue to grow, I think they're perfectly fine with whatever losses they have now, as long as it's not too significant. And Old Chicken, and now with this BKB being Solar Crest, I think they can actually smoke and take the next Roshan, because as long as they have Global Silence, it's not out of the question at all, even if Wings decides to contest.
Yeah, but that's kind of been true the entire game, and yet Wings have still found their opening multiple times over. Whether it's just getting the focus fire off before the global comes out, or finding the Winter's Curse the time in the river. It's just like, as long as one key ultimate comes out, they still have a chance to fight it. Whereas a lot of Silencer games, it's very binary. It's like, if the Silence comes out, the fight is lost for the enemy team. In this case, it's as long as they get something off before the CTY pops his ulti.
Alright, so for now, it looks like we're going to use a smoke gank from EHOME. I think they can get something out of here.
No, they seem pretty keen to back off. It seems like they are very well aware of what's going on, whether the small vision from the Radiant Observer Ward scattered out their smoke play, or what. They're just all going to all disengage here, and it's not going to come up for much, really. Old Chicken still just going to go back to farming. You'll note that he hasn't yet maxed out Gravel's Greed. 4-4-2-2 at only level 12. This guy is still getting only 8 bonus gold per kill.
Alright, so Venom with the Glimmer Cape. Let's see. Other items coming in. I mean, CTY, next item, I think it should be either be a Hex or a Blink. The Hex would be really great here, just for a bit of lockdown and Timbersaw. Or even a Shiva's Guard, just for the extra armor, so that, you know, he can actually man-fight the Wind Ranger.
Yes, the armor factor could be pretty strong. Like, I would almost advocate just somebody picking up a casual Ghost Scepter, maybe deal with the Wind Ranger factor. Old Chicken, the defensive Nightmare at the same time as the global. They really don't want to fight this now. Kaka needs to get himself back, tried for a glimpse play, but now the fight is absolutely done, and all they can do now is just keep tabs on the Roche Pit. Just with the Sigil, I presume Old 11 will pop that in about 10 seconds time and make sure he keeps tabs on the pit. Otherwise, they're just going to farm their Ancients and stay back and wait out their cooldown timers.
Yeah, this is not ideal at all. And without the Global Silence Wings, they look pretty confident on taking this Roshan, but I don't think they want to do that. That's really too cocky. Oh, Chicken is casually farming up Ancients, and now everyone knows Roshan's up, and nobody wants to give this up.
Yeah, but the Wind Ranger doesn't have a Blink Dagger, so just the Dire Observer Ward out here means that as long as they occasionally throw in like Ice Shards or something, then the Roche should be pretty unassailable. And then of course you've got plenty of ways of getting into the pit. With the Force Staff on the Disruptor, with the Disruptor's cast range, he can still just drop the kinetic static from outside. And then Old 11 actually has a Blink Dagger too. So I don't feel like the Roche is clear cut by any means. And yeah, that means that we are going to be seeing Wings have to be very careful about how they approach it.
Alright, so, I mean, the next play would probably be trying to outflank your opponent. So, EHOME, they can at best push out this bottom lane and try for a smoke afterwards by baiting CTY again. Which looks like, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing right now with Kaka, but he was already been spotted up at the creep wave by the Spirit Breaker, so he's pinging him out. Yep, Timbersaw just pushed at the top lane. So decisions have to be made, and this T2 actually looks like it might go for free. There's Siege Cart.
Oh, but the fight will start. Nice. Force Staff away from Eyesight, trying to just keep his distance. He'll swap back Old 11, trying to bring him down quickly. And that global is still not off cooldown for 15 seconds. They've timed it. They get the initiation, but they're still not clearly winning the fight. Venge goes down early. Timbersaw does some good damage, and there's going to be that Winter's Curse onto CTY, trying to focus fire him down, but instead Shadow gets gripped, and there's no interrupt. Shadow's taking a lot of damage right now. The Wind Run is gone. His mana's gone, but CTY is so low, he's got to run for his life. Ice Ice is going to be the easy pick here now that he has no Force Staff, and CTY will get him. But in the meantime, beyond Shadow Blade and actually the Power Shot kills off CTY. Now Shadow, one more Rin Run for the count thanks to the Magic Wand. Not going to be enough to get him out. Bane kills him off, and now Old 11 is dropping low. And Force Staff, Nightmare, Kinetic Field, everything to keep this Tusk alive. And they will do just that, only losing CTY and all of that despite the very late Global Silence. Can they do Roshan off of this though? They have a Solar Crest.
They do. Yeah, they can do Roshan for sure.
Dire's middle tower
Just having the Alchemist Solar Crest, that's really good timing. And you can see the power of the BKB and that value plate mail. And actually it looks like they don't want to give Roshan up for free. Oh, this Invis on Old 11, he sees a Timbersaw, he's thinking about just sneaking in. He has the blink, but the Warrior's Punch is going to send him up in the air, he's going to Timber Chain away.
Oh, they're bringing him all in!
Oh no! They find him, but he has no more mana.
Yeah, but they can't close in on him. They don't Nightmare him. They're going to focus on the fight in the river, where Innocence will be taken down to one more hit. They actually have to glimpse back the Spirit Breaker. Do they have the detection? No, he doesn't have Shadow Blade. And this is going to be a dieback for him under the Sentry Ward. And though the Timbersaw will make it a 1-for-1, killing off the Tusk. So 2 diebacks, 1 for the Tusk, 1 for the Spirit Breaker. Now Lanham kind of pursued. Okay, do get the swap. And now CDEC.Y is going to have to just man-fight everything here. Lots of damage coming in from the Glaives. 8 toasts him and brings him down. Innocence will get the TP away. Ice gets Nightmared up and should be going down. Yeah, they'll grip it just to make sure that they not only kill the Winter Wyvern, but in turn take the Roche. Because now they've got the negative armor, they've got no Winter's Curse to worry about, and of course the Global is cooling down. So Roshan going to EHOME when all is said and done. A hell of a series of team fights coming out from both teams.
That was a dieback from the Spirit Breaker, so he bought back for that, which was not worth it.
Yeah.
So I would say actually the Invis rune was just so lucky. It was just bad luck for the Timbersaw. Otherwise, he probably could have wrecked the Alchemist and everybody in the Roshan pit. So this was just super bad luck. Talk about Dota timing.
Absolutely, and now we see timing favoring EHOME. The next 5 minutes will be something they can really take advantage of. Experience and gold tipping back in their favor since the first time, since about halfway through this game so far. 17 minutes in is when things really started going well for Wings, and now EHOME are bringing it back. But yeah, the Tusk is still kind of stifled in his item progression all throughout all this. The Spirit Breaker diebacked as well as the Tusk, so these two offlaners are kind of in the same situation. They want to get an item that's relevant in the mid game here, but other than their base items that we already see, the Shadow Blade and the Mechanism, there's not really much progression for them. CDEC.Y goes for the Shivas. The more I see it, the more I like it. That armor is going to be so impactful for him as more fights continue. We're actually going to see the Blink Dagger come out just before the Splinter Blast connects, so one hero is going to be going down here. Kind of a wonky situation with the swaps, with the glimpses, but in the end, Innocence should be falling. And in the meantime, Spirit Breaker goes down to the Alchemist. Old Chicken, what are you doing up there? I don't know exactly how that turned out, but it looks like he got bashed onto the high ground. Nether Strike brought the Spirit Breaker onto the high ground, and then they just had a duel of champions as the Alchemist wins out and forces the Timbersaw home.
Yep, and he got a solo kill on Spirit Breaker, actually. Yep. Oh wait, here, the diving, Old 11, can he get the glitch? No, ice. Oh no, disaster. He's just gonna die here, and CDEC.Y, he's just so painful right now. Old 11 actually may die. The Shackle connects, and Silencer's gonna get himself the Winter Wyvern. Meanwhile, the Old 11, he's gonna die. He's gonna snowball away.
Now, he's
wait,
got
no,
the
he's still
Aegis.
Oh, charge.
We still have the Aegis on CDEC.Y, so he's going to be looking to go in here very deep, very shortly, as Shadow has wasted his entire win run. This could be the opportunity to kill off Shadow for good. He does have buyback available. Nice swap defensively. Innocence! Oh, sacrificing himself for the greater good, as Shadow can't be glimpsed back. 4 seconds have elapsed, and Old Chicken's not going to be diving tier 4s. They've taken the tier 2s, but they really want to go as deep as possible here. CDEC.Y still has that Aegis. It's going to be poked down. No, the Snowball actually keeps him up for a moment longer, but I'm sure he's got to fall. There it is. The blink forward, and the Aegis has popped. But with a stun on Spirit Breaker, it might be enough time for the Silencer to kill him off. Just a couple of glaive strikes, and he's down for the count. Shadow focus firing on Old Chicken, but has to hightail it back home, and that's another amazing fight for EHOME. 32-23 in total, using that Aegis to great effect.
And CDEC.Y got 4 intelligence stacks out that you can see now plus 28. Oh, I don't even want to be Wings right now, because any hero taking any damage from CDEC.Y, he's just going to whack them down with these glaives. It's pure damage.
And now he gets a little bit of extra attack speed thanks to the AC Aura. Of course, the negative armor is usually the thing you worry about there, but this Silencer really, he runs on props. He wants to build up a fast an attack as possible with those treads, the Midas. Is there any item in his future that he can look towards? Actually, he just picked up the Hyperstone, so Moonshard, CDEC.Y, oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing.
Oh, he's going, oh no, wait, he changed,
no, he
changed
changed
it around?
It is a Demon Edge now. MKB against the Wind Ranger, that makes a lot more sense. I like them both. I love them both, and he does too. He sells the Demon Edge back and gets the Hyperstone. You can see
it. Oh my god.
That's so much fun. It obviously is worse against the Wind Ranger, but it's better against the other 4. And I can't wait to see this. Oh, this is awesome.
You really don't even get to see this item often in Silencer cores. So yeah, this is really amazing. I would have preferred the MKV just so he can kill the Silencer, but I mean, I thought at first it's like, what, Daedalus? I don't even know why I considered that.
Radiant's
Alright,
bottom
Old
tower
Chicken
is
now
under
getting
attack.
very, very tanky. And Timbersaw, jumping blades over here. Shiva's got picked up. Maybe could look to go for the Ags. Because, BKB durations are wearing thin.
Radiant's
Except for
bottom
CTY.
tower
It's still
has
9-second
fallen.
BKB. But if you can somehow drag this out to like 5-second BKBs, the Aghanims Timbersaw would actually be very, very destructive to EHOME.
Yeah. That's probably something he's considering for his next option here. A Hex would be great on the Silencer too, if you could just Blink Hex the Silencer and try to kill him off, but you got the Nightmare, the Glimmer, the Force. There's obviously a great response from EHOME support staff, so no matter what you get, there's not going to be one great answer. You just have to hit him with everything you've got and hopefully bring him down, because this Silencer is now the complete linchpin of EHOME's draft. The Alchemist is great. AC going Abyssal, he's going to be able to contribute a decent amount, but even though he's dwarfed in net worth by 2k, I still think CTY is the most important hero on the entire map.
He is not only as the main damage dealer, but mostly for the global silence. That's where they have that tiny window of opening, 6 seconds, to just quickly destroy the Timbersaw and the Winter Wyvern. More importantly is to cancel out the Winter's Curse, so that's when they have to kill the Winter Wyvern. Anything outside that, not really.
Casual 2 attacks per second here with the Silencer picking up the Moon Shard. Oh man, this is so scary for Wings. If this guy just gets any timing, but we're actually going to see a jump here. Global Silence comes out really early though, nicely done. Shadow will pop the BKB, looking for his Shackle. He'll get the line onto Kaka, but only to the creep as CTY just rails into the Winter Wyvern and brings him down. CTY pops the Shivas and now kills off Beyond. He's doing so much damage. They'll go ahead, Nightmare Innocence, kill off Wind Ranger, and down goes the Venge as well. It's a triple kill for CTY. This guy is on a monster kill streak. Absolutely insane damage output from him, and there's just no answer.
It doesn't even matter that the Vengeance Aura from the Vengeful Spirit's death reduces the damage by 12%, because this CTY, he hits like a monster truck right now. Not even a truck, more than that, and with the double attack per second.
Yeah, Blades are so strong. And I actually just realized why CTY didn't bother with the MKB yet. And it's because whenever Wind Ranger pops her Wind Run, she also pops BKB at the same time. It's just to get all that damage time and be essentially invulnerable. And so what happens then is, sure, you're piercing through her evasion and hitting her, but your glaives don't take effect until BKB wears off, I believe. So that's a big factor for whether or not you want to actually bother with True Strike. And now we're going to see the mid lane of Rax fall, now the bottom going down quickly. This might be Wings' last stand.
Oh. Global Silence. The mech is going to be popped. Wings. Flying Dagger pops the BKB and Lotus Orb is on him, but now you see Old Chicken. He actually made this fall here, but he will fall to the Winter Wyvern. And now Old Chicken is left to fend for himself, while the rest of EHOME leave him to die. It will be a 2-for-0 trade, and they still maintain defense at the bottom lane, so none of the Raxes fall.
Yeah, they're gonna try to pursue. That would
He's
be an amazing kill, but could you really actually have a chance? Without your BKB up, you're actually just a lamb to the slaughter. But we are going to see this charge connect, and that's going to be pretty big if they can actually find this kill. Shadow doesn't have a tree to shackle to. He just pops the BKB, man fights, and the Timbersaw will go down. CTY also does a lot of damage to the Venge, but it's not going to be enough to kill him off just yet. The Thunder Strike's going to do it as he tries to TP home. That is going to be a 2-for-1 in spite of that. Like, they go for the jump, they finally get that kill. They get the bounty of 1,060 gold to Shadow, but at the cost of 2 heroes. What a player, this CTY.
He just mad mode. That was really good. He didn't have a TP anyway, so he just decided, okay, tell you what, screw this, I'm just gonna go fight, and it really paid off. You could even see when the Timbersaw was trying to chase him, he was brought down to like a third of his HP, just trying to man-fight CTY. And if he gets the Hex, I'm pretty sure he's gonna kill a lot more than just the Timbersaw.
I don't know, dude. At this point, yeah, the CTY's BKB is wearing down, but so is that of Wings in general. 6 seconds left on the Wind Rangers. The Timbersaw's down to 5. It's actually really difficult to fight against the Silencer now, and he could get himself a Refresher Orb next. He could go for the Hex, which would be astounding as well. Hell, Old Chicken could even pull him an Aghanim Scepter. It's not that great at this stage in the game, but if you combo it at the same time as a Refresher, then you're going to be just making some very sad faces out of Wings.
I think they're already making sad faces, like when they had a 2-for-1 trade, just trying to fight against CDEC.Y. And I mean, every single kill he gets or participates in, or even if he's just near somebody dying, he gets so much intelligence, and now he's getting plus 38. He still has so much more room to grow in terms of DPS.
It's going to be hard to get in this position here. Going to go for the force stab forward, glimmering, and they will find Timbersaw. BKB or not, they'll just grip him, they'll just kill him. BKB will be expiring just in time for them to silence him up and finish him off. Suicide, the only answer in this case. And that's going to be keeping him down for 50 seconds. In the meantime, CDEC.Y building up and nearly finishing off a MKB. He's 1,100 gold away from his next item, but he's like, yeah, just put the Courier over there. I'll get it shortly, and he certainly will. Farm up just a few more creeps here, so fast with this Glaze of Wisdom attack speed, and yeah, he's going to have the MKB for the next fight.
But he has it already?
He's going to. Like, he has the double javelin, and he's holding it over the sneaker shop, just waiting.
And that's going to be the Abyssal up on Old Chicken as well. Whew. And Roshan. Wings, they have to contest this. I'm not sure how. I mean, you said that they were like the kings of comebacks, but do you think they can actually come back from this? This is really, really huge. I mean, the gold deficit is like a 12k gold lead in favor of EHOME.
To answer your question, can come back from this? Yes. Will? Fuck no. This is insanely difficult to come back from. EHOME are just monstrous right now. If they get like the Winter's Wyvern's Refresher Orb, which is like 10 minutes down the road, optimistically, then yeah, they have the ability to make this happen. But right now, CDEC.Y is huge. He just got himself an Aegis along with the MKB. He sells his Midas, gets the MKB, and the life insurance is there anyways, because there is he just gets obviously the Aegis as soon as he buys out. So he's ready to go. He can't kill the Venge easily because of Ghost Scepter, but otherwise, everybody is just his key target, and he eats his Moonshard as well.
I think you just curse Old Chicken and hope that CDEC.Y clubs him down to death with those glaives, because right now he's just standing the front lines. They don't have anything. They don't want to do anything with CDEC.Y. Oh god, Lotus Orb. Wait, what? Alright, so the Silence is coming out and just putting Old Chicken to sleep. That's it. Warrior's Punch, and Tusk is going to get a 1-to-Y, and Silence is destroying the Wind Ranger. Oh, CDEC.Y, you monster, and Wind Ranger's going to buy back immediately. Old Chicken's going to stun himself. The Shackle's going to... What?
Oh, wow.
Right. Wow, that's a long-ass Shackle, and Old Chicken's still alive. Shadow's trying to bring someone down, but CDEC.Y still has the Aegis, it doesn't even matter. And Silence is going to give himself another kind of Vengeful Spirit. The stun, Fiend's Grip on Shadow is going to be a dieback, and they're going to call it GG. This is game 1 going the way of EHOME, and now they're just rubbing it into Wing's face, destroying them, and Fountain farming. What a game, Blaze. What a game.
Rack them up. EHOME just doing some amazing wonders here. Now that they've gotten the farm they needed. Silencer free farmed in the early game. Contributed to such a great extent in multiple fights. I feel like CDEC.Y was a little reluctant to pull the trigger on the global silence in a few key situations, but it's really hard to play a core silencer for the one reason of you're focusing on farming while always looking to global, and you can't always assume your team knows exactly when to call it, though sometimes they do. So really, it's CDEC.Y that has to be looking everywhere on the map while farming up a storm, while just doing what he does in seemingly every game of Dota 2. They go ahead and first ban his Queen of Pain, getting them the old 11 Tusk, and then CDEC.Y still is the MVP. He just outperforms in every capacity. Lanham did great in the early game, 11's Tusk was really solid, but it still comes down to the fact that CDEC.Y just performed miraculously well in this carry silencer position, and gives me hope for EHOME's kind of versatility going into future games from them. In fact, it may be on Star Ladder as land soil, as we will be looking at one game away from EHOME qualifying for the event. Wings Gaming are now down 1-0 in this best of 3 series, and while the winner will be going to the LAN event, the loser will be going through the lower bracket, and it's going to be a slog. I mean, going up against CDEC.Y is not going to be the easiest task, so Wings going to try to give it all to get the easy ride here, but EHOME seem to be slamming the door shut. Anyways, we're going to be going into the second game of this best of 3 series here in just a few minutes. Perhaps the conclusion of the broadcast. You'll have to stay tuned. Thanks once again for tuning in. I'm myself, and Blaze. Happy to be able to broadcast on behalf of Beyond the Summit. If you enjoyed the commentary, feel free to look me up at Blazecasting, as well as my wonderful co-caster Hades at Hades Dota. And we are going to be going into Game 2 in just, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes. So stick around. We'll see you soon.